Welcome back. I'm here with Decky Mcaleenan of the. All right, now this is an ongoing debate I have with people. Is it IUR your
Fighting Championships? It's Nuri in Irish. So Nuri in the Irish language is your.
Oh, okay.
So it's Nuri's Fighting Championship because that's where it is.
Excellent. That answers the next question. What does that mean? No, that's cool. And then just everyone I talk to, it's no one knows how to pronounce it properly. Yeah. So thanks for clearing that up. First of all, fantastic show.
Thank you.
It was my first time being up here. The mechanics of it, the logistics of it, everything ran so smoothly. It was great. So whatever you're doing behind the scenes, keep it up. You're doing a great job. It was very enjoyable to work behind the scenes with you. Not really being a part of anything, but it was pleasant. So one, thank you for having me, and then two, thanks for that, because it was no one said a bad word about it. Everyone, huge, a lot of positivity in that regard. So
that's what I try to do when running the show. I don't want to have a good group of people around me that help. It's the same group of people that whatever's happening in my life, they're always the ones that are with me. So whenever this started, I have a good core group of people around me that have helped run it. So it's I get the whole thing set up and started, but then whenever it gets going, most of the time today I spent out the back getting the boys warmed up, wrapping hands and cornering. So without them, it wouldn't be what it is either.
Another compliment that I keep hearing about these shows is the cards are set up. The matches, your matchmaking is really good. And just from what I saw tonight, absolutely, that's right on the money. What does it take to make these matches happen? Because you actually had a few, more than 2 or 3 that were kind of last minute.
Yeah, well, there was 6 pullouts from last Thursday. I think they started last Wednesday or Thursday. They started. And from that, it seems to be a fighter show. Like if you want to pad your record and you want to pick easy fights and sell tickets to get belts, this isn't the show for you. If what you see with most of the matchups from the bottom to the top, they're all 50-50 fights. You don't know who's going to win. Some of the fights, like the main event, on paper the records didn't add up to why you would make that fight. But the two boys, I've been about the scene a long time, and I remember the last time, I think it was Dylan's last amateur fight was against Dora, and it was a draw. So there's more to it than actually just looking at a record and seeing right, well, he's 2-0 and this boy's 2-1, will make this happen. It's more just you don't know what way the card's going to go. And I think we went 50-50 tonight. I think we were split on wins and losses, and that's the way it should be, because it's only going to better the boys going forward then for the bigger stage.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that even at the amateur level these days, some of the fighters kind of forget that. No. Especially as an amateur, you should just really kind of take what's given to you and then just, take it, learn from it, and move on.
That's it. And the likes of Dom Rhodes, he, at the drop of a hat, changed from Jamie, who was, I think he was maybe 5-1 at the stage, to taking on a European champion with a lot more fights and a lot more experience, and just it was a matter of what about this, and he said yes straight away. So that's the kind of champions you want on your show.
Absolutely.
Fair enough, it didn't work out for him tonight, but he's going to learn from that and come back. I think with the way the card's set up, from bottom to top, you're gonna learn your craft on my show. I think that's the easiest way of saying it. You're gonna, some nights you might be the hammer, some nights you might be the nail. And that's what it is at amateur. Whenever I used to fight amateur, that's what it used to be. I remember my first fight, the poster was released the day before weigh-ins, and I was trying to figure out off the poster which fella looked similar size to me to see who it was that was fighting. It was only then, whenever I got to the venue, that I was thinking, I've narrowed down to 2 people here of which one it's going to be. And the way I look at my fight career is, I'll say I'm free on a date to fight, and on that date I'll fight anyone. And that's what where this show is, and a lot of the fighters and a lot of the clubs that I'm dealing with, that seems to be their mentality as well. So
that's a good mentality to have, and it's a good mentality for a club to kind of push on their members to do that. I remember my first fight, it's an amateur, ultra amateur fight, so I always feel like I have to preface that. But I didn't know who I was fighting until literally we were back getting ready to walk in the cage, and it was, the same thing you said. I was looking, people similar weights to me, like just trying to size everyone up. I was like, is it you? Is it you?
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm pretty big, or I'm pretty heavy, dense.
Yeah.
So like there was only a couple I had to pick from. But what about putting on these shows is like kind of the most difficult thing?
Yes, the hardest part is like coming from such a small team, but other than that, like it is hard. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of organising goes into it, and as I said, I've do all this myself, from making posters to setting up the pay-per-view, to matching the fights, to everything you see until we get to the day. That's where the rest of everyone else comes in around me and helps. So it's a lot of stress to put on top of someone like with a young family of a 4-year-old, and then the wee one's 4 months old.
Oh wow!
And my own fight career on top of that. It's not easy, but listen, I enjoy it. I set out whenever I stopped fighting in the time, whenever I moved on to the bigger show, I decided that it was something I wanted to do, was to bring MMA back to Newry. This is my town, this is where I'm from, this is, I like to bring stuff here. There's nothing on Sundays. The crowd that be around the town, like the wee coffee shops are doing well, the hotel does a lot better on a Sunday. So like having the smaller businesses doing well is great. Putting something on like this in the town is great, and I'm sort of getting people wanting to come up here to fight is what it's all about for me.
It's great. So the flip side of that, what's kind of the most enjoyable part of all of this?
Like watching the fights, getting to see my teammates do well, getting to get my teammates on the cards. You'll see even like from putting, I'm not one of these ones to be standing doing an interview, but be in front of the camera, like all suited up and putting belts on people and whatever else. I try and pass that off to one of the boys to do that, or whoever's standing closest, like to get the belts on. But getting to actually see fighters develop, and as I say, get to see my own team doing well, and fighting in front of their hometown, and maybe like you might come to watch one fighter tonight, but then you might see one of the other boys on the card, and then the next thing he's fighting in Belfast or Dublin, and you want to go to watch him, and it's sort of transferring that support all around the team then, so that whenever one of us fight, we've got a bit of a following then from the other ones. It all sort of links up that way. Like, so just seeing cards like that where there was 32 fighters showed up tonight and put on a hell of a show. Like that's got nothing got to do with me. That's all just on the fighters tonight. Like, so fair play to them.
Awesome. Where do you see kind of the future of your fighting championship? What would 5 years from now? What would you like to see?
It's just to be like a platform in Ireland for the younger generations coming up, for the grassroots MMA, for the amateurs MMA, and then the early level pros, somewhere for them to learn their craft, develop their skill set, to move on to the bigger stages. Like Kieran, for talk's sake, the co-main event tonight, he spent most of his amateur career here. He did fight elsewhere as well, but he was one of our champions, our bantamweight champion, and then he moved to Cage Warriors for his pro debut. I think he got a second round submission, and then he's back tonight just because it just worked better for him to fight here than it did in Cage Warriors, and then we'll be back to Dublin next year with him for Cage Warriors again. So Kieran's one of my teammates as well, so obviously that's how I know the sort of the game plan there. But like that's what it's all about. It's like having something that, if you want to come out with the boys and have a drink, or you want to take your family to an MMA show, it's one of the only ones in the country that sort of fits all the bills. Like it's not a overly rowdy crowd, but it's also not like they enjoy their fights. So you've got more fight fans than just going to see your mate fight, So that's what I like about it.
Yeah, the crowd here was definitely a crowd of all ages.
Yeah,
and that's cool to see. Kids experiencing fighting, and that sounds weird. Kids experiencing combat sports.
That's it.
And learning that it is a more or less safe sport that you can participate in, and then potentially have a career in as well.
That's it. Like both Dara and Kieran had the families with them.
Yes.
Had their young kids there. Now, unfortunately, Dara's didn't go his way, but it's like seeing Dara with his wee man after the fight and showing him how to, like, what way you deal with these things it's only a learning curve.
Absolutely.
For the wee, like to see them then, like turn the whole thing around and just be happy to have your family there. Like, it is. Whenever I was fighting locally, I have a niece, one of my nieces with me, and then I had a few of my nephews, at different fights. I can see the buzz of taking them into the cage to you after the fight. It's the silly things like that in years to come, I don't care about the fights. The fighting doesn't really mean much to me. I enjoy it, but it's them memories that you have with your family, and stuff like that. That's what the sport's about, rather than all the other stuff that goes away. People are very, very quick to forget in the sport, but your family's always your family.
100%. One of the things you said you want to do with your promotion is kind of breed the grassroots of MMA in this country. What advice would you give someone who is maybe just starting out in their MMA career, or is just interested in starting? They haven't really started yet, but maybe they want to.
Kind of what I done whenever I started off. Like, social media has put a lot of pressure on the sport. Has also put a lot of pressure on people that don't need pressure on them. So what I would be saying is, get in, enjoy the process. Don't think of the end goal. I want to get to the UFC, or I want to fight wherever. Just get in and take each step as it comes. Enjoy your training. Enjoy your whatever parts with your sparring. Try to learn, and then if it comes round to fighting, then whenever your coach says to you, what about a fight? Or if you said your coach would want to fight, that's just the time then you start doing it. Because I see a lot of people come in nowadays and they might have went to a show tonight and they want to be the champion, and then they're going to turn pro and they're going to go to Cage Warriors and they're going to go to the UFC. But it's just you might never go anywhere with your career. So let's enjoy the smaller moments in the gym where you're training. You come in and you might sub someone that's a higher belt than you. You might spar with someone and you do well, and then it's right, well, you're doing that, so now we'll go to the lower level shows. You might have a novice fight or something like that there, and then it's you've done well at that, we'll stick you in. And I can just take each step as it comes, because a lot of people want to jump straight on, fill their t-shirts with sponsors and become the professional athlete. There's no other sport in the world that works like that, but for somehow nowadays MMA fighters seem to think that 5 or 6 fights and I'm a world beater.
Yeah.
So it's one of them things. Just enjoy the process.
Okay, right on.
That way would be right.
And if someone wants to jump on one of your cards, they can reach out to you directly, or how does that work?
Reach out to me on my Instagram page, or even just go on to IUR Fighting Championships and send me a message there. And then between that, we'll sort it out with yourself and your coach. No fights are confirmed without a coach's say so, but if you want on the card, a lot of coaches to be flat out now, so if you want the card, send me a message and then we'll okay it with your coach, and then we'll get you sorted.
Awesome. I appreciate you having me down. I want to be to the next one. I think you have another one when is your next one?
The next one's February 23rd. We've just stuck a poster up there now, just on the high of today.
Awesome.
May as well stick the poster up now.
Same spot, Canal Court Hotel.
Court Hotel near it, yeah. So that's where we'll be. Hopefully we get a bigger one at some stage next year in the sports centre. It'll probably be double the capacity.
Oh, that'd be great.
A few more pro fights and that on, and then just mix between the two, between the Canal Court maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and then the big one then in the sports centre, just to sort of send the pro fighters off. Then that sort of
I hope to be back in February. All right, you too, sir. All right, thank you very much.
Cheers.
All right, appreciate it.